Hello and welcome. Many thanks for joining us on this week's edition of the program. There is so much happening in the country at the moment, but we all hope for the very best. You're welcome to your number one source for all the latest happenings in the world of business. My name is Margaret Mary Osibor. On the lineup this week, we joined Faith and her guest, Mr. Dave Mitcham, the Chief Executive Officer of the International Underwriting Association of London, for the continuation of their exclusive session on Brexit and the future of the London insurance market. Mr. Mitcham said that the size of the London market, coupled with the fact that it's a specialist market, will make it stand strong post-Brexit. Do take a listen.
We have this almost unique ecosystem of intellectual capital itself to support the business, and a support industry of service providers, be they lawyers, accountants, adjusters, etc., who can service the needs of the clients through the life cycle of policies, really.
On this edition also, we will bring you highlights of the Vanguard Economic Discourse that took place recently at the Civic Centre here in Lagos. The theme this year was Economy in Rebound, Pitfalls, Trajectories and Resetting. The keynote speaker was Bode Augusto, founder Bode Augusto & Co. The Vanguard Economic Discourse is a no-holds-barred platform that x-rays the economy, and this year was no exception. Do take a listen.
The key to drive any economy is human resource, and labor is the source of wealth. You can't get the best out of this country if you don't pay labor adequately as a wage. And I think we can reduce this point by the time we come back from next part of this country.
These and more are what we have lined up for your viewing pleasure this week, so sit back, relax and enjoy the lineup. Details in just a moment. Please stay with us.
Okay, now another issue I say with Turkey oftentimes it's a lot of issues that borders on regulation, and of course, strictly speaking, there are areas where Turkey funds cannot be invested and all of that. So what is the London market doing in that direction?
On regulation?
Yes.
Well, part of the government interaction is to work with the regulator itself. They need to understand the Takaful model. I think they would probably say at the moment they need to do a bit more work there. We don't have specific Takaful companies as such. It's more like a division of a conventional company. They're not bespoke to Takaful. Yeah. So the regulators need to understand how to regulate that business as well.
How easy do you think that will be?
Well, it shouldn't be too difficult. I mean, the people trading it understand it. There's no reason why the regulator won't understand it as well. Our regulator's arguably one of the best in the world in terms of understanding the industry and being proactive in its thinking and working with the industry itself. It's certainly been quite optimistic, quite constructive in the way it's working with the industry on Brexit, for example. It recognises the need to retain the London market ecosystem as much as we can. So it's been quite flexible on branch licensing under a Brexit world. So I have confidence that the regulator will understand and work with the industry on this. I also think the government itself, through our Treasury, will be driving this. That they want to see more. They want to see the Islamic financial sector grow in many ways, not just banking.
Your thoughts on it? To what extent can the insurance industry, be it Takaful or conventional insurance, embrace technology to run their business?
It's already happening. Yeah, another part of London is very much the fintech, instech hub for Europe, if not further afield. We have literally hundreds of technology companies devising solutions that can assist the financial services industry. Some of these receive investment directly from banks or insurers. Some have their own capital. some partner with insurers to almost introduce risk management techniques that can mitigate risks in the future. I can think of examples where, for example, one insurer invested in a startup that designed smart clothing for construction sites. So it would measure your health as you're working, which gave them better data to understand the health insurance of those employees. So it's managing the risk better. There are dozens of examples like that. Where I struggle a little bit to see the impact of Instech is as a major disruptor. I think it's a major enabler of the industry. I'm talking commercial here. I could sort of see disruption in the retail space, but I think in the commercial space, these startups are offering risk management techniques, robotics, AI, data mining, many aspects. It started a while ago with telematics, really, and all of these things are helping the product for the client. They're not disrupting in terms of we're not losing insurance carriers because of it. We're not getting Facebook or someone becoming a big insurer.
How is the industry going to guarantee that over the years?
Oh, look, there are no guarantees. Obviously, if some of these big data companies who hold massive databases want to get involved in insurance, absolutely fine. But they will be subject to the full range of regulation that existing insurers are subject to. You've got to go into it with your eyes open. You need capital, you need to comply, you need to treat your customer fairly. All of that applies to the insurance industry now, and this is more retail space you're talking.
Okay, now still speaking about the retail space, Mr. Devkam, a lot of brokers especially, they're a little bit jittery when you talk about technology because they see in the future, maybe instead of retail looking at brokers or insurance agents, salespeople for their insurance needs, they'll rather sit in the comfort of their home and do their business. So going down the future, what's the role of the broker in the insurance?
I think you're talking retail here primarily.
Yes.
I thought you would. So me as a customer, I'm a retail customer. I don't really need a broker. I can go online. I can probably find the products I want to choose from at a reasonable price. If I have a claim, I can contact the insurer directly via a portal or directly on some claims hotline. I don't need a broker for that. We're seeing in the UK, the high street brokers are reducing in number. I think the role of the broker is more in the advocacy space, the design of new products or working on behalf of the industry somehow to improve the product generally. And the more complicated the risk gets, so it could even be in the SME space, that's when the brokers can offer risk management expertise. They may not even need to place the business, but they can act as literally as an intermediary between the buyer and seller. I would also argue down the line that the brokers don't necessarily have to deal with the premium or the claims. That could all be done on the peer-to-peer basis. So perhaps the role of the broker in the retail SME space is going to be more advisory and advocacy. I think in the commercial space and the wholesale space, because of the complexity of those risks, no client can really easily go to the insurers they need. Many risks in London have 20 insurers on them, all taking a small share. I don't see that at the moment being something that disintermediates the broker. So the larger, more complex the risk, the more role brokers will play.
Alright, welcome back. Moving on now, we'll bring you highlights of the Vanguard Economic Discourse that took place recently at the Civic Center here in Lagos. Among the panelists this year were Kari Ababuka, Chairman, Nigerian Economic Summit Group, Mr. Muda Yusuf, DG LCCI, and a host of others. Happy viewing.
Nigeria's premier business and finance daily newspaper, Vanguard, recently put together a 2018 economic discourse at the Civic Center, Victoria Island. The theme was Economy in Rebound, Pitfalls, Trajectories and Resetting. The annual Vanguard Economic Discourse is a platform that brings economists, policymakers and the business community to discuss critical issues affecting the Nigerian economy. Keynote speaker this year was Mr. Bode Augusto, founder, Bode Augusto & Co. Welcoming participants to the discourse, Mr. Gbenga Adefaye, General Manager and Editor-in-Chief, Vanguard Newspaper, said that the platform is meant to enrich the debate around the economy. Delivering the keynote, Mr. Augusto said that population must enter a political agenda for it to be beneficial to us.
In my opinion, the biggest problem we have in Nigeria is our population, uncontrolled population growth. That's my own personal view, and I'll explain why, by putting things into context. When we got independence in 1996, the population of Nigeria was 46 million. The United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, 52 million. 6 million people more than us in 1960. By 2015, the UK moved from 52 million to 62 million. Nigeria moved from 46 million to 185 million. That's not the end of the story. Let's move forward another 55 years to 2070. 2070, the UK will be 80 million. Nigeria will be 550 million. This is population pyramid, these are not my numbers. I have a younger brother who's a very solid mathematician. When I popped out these numbers to him, his initial reaction was, no, it's not possible. And he put it in his math calculator. And he came back that, oh yeah, it's very possible. It's only 2.2% compounded. We're doing 2.5 already. So, my wife says it differently, that the children who are going to take us to 550 million, they have already been born. So what does this really mean? It means that the demand for primary school is going to be much bigger. The number of teachers that we need to hire to pay will be bigger. The number of schools, classrooms we need to build will be bigger. Alright? The number of vaccines we need to buy to inoculate these children will be more. Alright? We need to send them to secondary school, we need to keep them healthy. After they leave school, we have to find work for them. Otherwise, they become what we call in finance non-earning assets. Isn't it? And because we will feed them, we will clothe them, their liabilities. Isn't it? So, at the end of the day, the wealth of a nation, we measure it by what? We measure it by the number of yams that we have produced, divided by the number of people who are going to eat the yam, isn't it? Yam per head, isn't it? Today, what are we doing? We're growing the number of human beings faster than the rate at which we are growing yam. Of course, we're going to be poorer, no matter how hard we pray. Therefore, I believe that population must enter our political agenda, irrespective of our religious beliefs. We need to enact policies that will help us manage our population better.
The high-level panelists at the discourse this year were Mr. Yari Ababuka, Chairman, NESG, Mr. Muda Yusuf, DG, LCCI, Mr. Opeyemi Agbaje, CEO, RTC Advisory Services, Mr. Isa Aremu, Secretary General, National Union of Textile Garment Workers of Nigeria, Mr. Tony Okpanachi, Managing Director, Development Bank of Nigeria, and Ms. Patience Oniha, Director General, Debt Management Office.
I would like to start by giving every one of the panelists 3 minutes to discuss the paper. But by the way, I have two hats, as you can see. Originally on the program, I'm a panelist. Now I'm the chair, so I can decide to be a panelist if I so choose. And so with this, what I would like to do is start from my extreme left and have 3 minutes of opening remarks. And then we will throw it up to the audience for questions or comments. And then it will come back, and then we can try as much as possible to wrap up. So I'll start with Mr. Muda Yusuf. 3 minutes. Please, let's keep to the time.
The population, I agree with the fears, but I think it's a bit, I don't know, we have to worry about population. But I think we need to worry more about investment in human capital. Because if you look at many of the biggest economies today, most of them are also economies with very large population. Look at US, look at China, Brazil, even within Africa, Ethiopia, and all of that. So just as the speaker said, we need to worry about the quality of the population, which has to do a lot with investment in human capital. I think that we need to underscore. Then on taxation, I do not agree with the speaker that we are not paying taxes. I think we need to redefine it to know who is paying and who is not paying. Now, we need to look at this from the context of the structure of the economy. This economy is a dual economy. And when I say dual, it's principally the formal sector of the economy and the informal sector of the economy. The formal sector of the economy that I speak to you is possibly even overtaxed. Because when you talk of taxation, it's not just about the conventional tax, company tax, PE and all of that. Businesses pay a lot of levies, a lot of fees and things they pay annually. And these things are very, put a lot of burden on business. So we have a situation where we have almost 50% informal sector that are not captured in any serious way in the tax policy or in the tax net. So we have a few informal sector people providing the tax revenue to support the whole economy. So the issue is more about broadening the tax net and making sure that we get the other segments of the economy to also be on board. Then we need to worry about our institutions. Institutions are very key. Institutions are very critical for the quality of policies that are formulated. They are very critical for the quality of policy implementation that we have. And when businesses interface with the public sector, it can be a nightmare.
You know, there's no way we can carry 189 million people without railway. It leverages, it releases capital and labor for development. Now, if Nigeria can do that in 2 years, Federal Republic of Nigeria have not improved on this rail line. It is just now we are trying to reinvent. Now I go from Abuja to Kaduna, railway is cheaper, it's easier, it carry more people, of course. We're also free from most of the hazard on the road. So what I'm saying is that I agree perfectly with what you support. Also, the last point I want to raise, I see, the way you spoke, it's as if you are from another planet. You used to be director of budget under Obasanjo. Now, I'm saying, we must own the discussion of our country. There should be ownership. We talk as a country. We don't talk of regret. We talk as if we are new. Wait, you were there. How much did you allocate to railway when you were there? How much was allocated to health, to education? Now to your last question, Kiari. about the labor component. Interestingly, it's difficult for me to answer this because Augusto talks about prices of exchange rate, of inflation, of interest rates, even in its classification of sectors. All the factors of production were mentioned: capital, finance, what of labor? The price of labor, and it's important, you know, and this way agreeing that population could be liability, but it's a big asset for a country like this. Why it not be million people? We may think we are big in relation to Ghana, in relation to Togo, but in relation to China, you are just a progress. Population can be an asset if you motivate them, you pay them very well, and the price of labor is very, very critical to that. Now today, minimum wage has collapsed to barely $50. 1981, minimum wage was about $120. A poorer Nigeria pay more.
I think diversifying the entire economy is important. So while we add labor to the resource we need, I think agriculture and manufacturing somehow were left out. I would say those are very key sectors in terms of diversifying the economy. Infrastructure would improve production and things like that, but we need to focus. And the medium to long term is to say how much can we produce to consume and then export as well. And I think that is where the journey is, that is where the employment will come from and the growth will come from. So broadly, those are my comments on the macro issues. I'll just speak briefly to the issues around debt, just to at least highlight some of the things you said. I noticed you looked at, you talked about total debt over revenue. Let me be upfront. The narrative as public debt managers, as far as the DMO is concerned and the Ministry of Finance, we're not talking debt to GDP again. We're talking about how to reduce debt service to revenue ratios.
Given the high-level discussion at the discourse, participants had questions.
50 companies are owing 5.4 trillion naira, for which reason the government set up AMCON to buy off the toxic debts of these 50 individuals. Yet, we come around to ask the poor, government cannot subsidize you. You must pay for education, you must pay for health.
The mistake running the economy of a country with managing a PLC. Nigeria is not a PLC. And Nigerians are citizens, they are not shareholders. That is why you always erroneously refer to Nigeria as stakeholders. We are not stakeholders, we are citizens. The objective of the PLC government is to generate profit. The purpose of the government is not to generate profit. The duty of the government is defined by the Constitution in Chapter 2, and that is the welfare and the security of the people. And that is why you can see in the presentation, it is discounting the social sector.
The 2018 Vanguard Economic Discourse was a huge success given the high level of speakers, panelists, and participants. The consensus at the end of the discourse is that it's about time we move as a nation from talking and walking our talk to fix infrastructure to catapult the economy to a new level.
And that is our show for this week. Feel free as always to connect with us on all our social media platforms. You can also watch more details of events and interviews on our YouTube channel, but first you have to subscribe. My name is Margaret Mary Osiobor. Until next week, God willing, when we shall bring you a fresh package, be your brother's keeper. Bye-bye.